Hi, yoga friends. I'm Megan. Thanks for being here. This one's a short ditty that is a specific request for yoga for hands and wrists. It was for musicians, but I've also had other people ask me for yoga therapy for hands and wrists. So here we go. Find a seated position where you're comfortable. And the first thing to know when we're working with our hands and wrists is we want to map where the joints are. So what I'd ask you to do is take your left hand out in front of you and touch the palm where you think the joints are. And notice if you put your fingers up by the skin folds and move your fingers from there, how does that feel? Flip your hand over and then take your right hand to the knuckles and move again. And now notice what that feels. So we're really defining in our mind's eye and our nervous system where the joint is for the fingers. And you can do the same thing with the other hand. Flip the right palm up and then take your fingers to where the skin folds are. Move from the skin folds. Notice what that feels like. Flip the hand over, take the fingers to your knuckle bones, and then move from the actual joints. So mapping, we call this body mapping, letting your brain know where those joints are. And then go ahead and just open and relax a few times. Open and relax. And then we'll be a little bit more specific. So let your hands rest. If you've got a table, you can put them on a table, but we're going to move just the fingers. So as you feel ready, you're going to open your hands wide like we just did. Hold them there just for a few breaths. Completely release. And then close the fingers. And what I'm noting is I'm going to try to keep my wrists still. That's why I'm resting them on my legs. Just the fingers. We're isolating the movement. Spread your fingers and lift them up. Let them go. And then squeeze the fingers. Let them go. Do that a few more times. And I like to alternate whether the thumb is in the middle of the fingers, if I'm squeezing my thumb, or to the outside. You can do both. I'm going to do one more round there. Just the fingers. Let your wrist stay in a neutral position. All right. And then we're going to go into the wrists. So I like to take the arms at the sides. Let the shoulders be heavy and relaxed. Let your fingers relax now and think of the wrist creases. So you can even define those by putting your thumb and index finger on them. Feel where those wrist creases move from. And with the fingers relaxed, you're going to go up, relax, and down. Relax. So it's the wrist. Initiating from the wrist. Extension and flexion. Check to see it's not your fingers lifting you up. One more there. You might even hold it for a few breaths and then release completely. All right, and then we'll flip up. I like to keep my arms at my side so the shoulders are relaxed. Flip your hands up and then take your wrist more into back of the hand towards the wrist, so more into extension, and then bring the pinky fingers towards one another and away. And imagine you're holding a tray on your hands. You're going to go towards and away, back and forth. Nice and slow. And you want to really spread your fingers. Even your thumb. Pull that thumb away. Okay, there's a little warm up for the next one. So now keep the left hand in that position as if you're holding a tray. Take your right hand and push into your left hand, even the thumb if you can get it, and resist with the left hand. And go as far as it feels comfortable. We're going to hold this one for a few breaths. So creating your own resistance between right and left, and taking that wrist deeper perhaps into that position of extension. Get that thumb out there. Feel your forearm. So I like to describe the joints as just that. They're parts of our body that join two things. So your wrist joins your hand to your arm. So what do you feel in your hand? What do you feel in your arm? And then release that. Shake it out for a minute. We'll do the opposite hand. Flip your right palm up. Take the left hand and push into the right hand, but resist with the right hand. And you decide the volume dial here. How hot do you want it? Creating that resistance and holding and breathing. Just letting your nervous system feel it. So we have what's called our proprioceptors usually in our joints, and that's telling your your brain, your body's position in space. And a lot of them are in the joints. Your brain listens to things like how the skin is folded or gathered. And then go ahead and release that. Shake that one out. My usual counter pose to that one is if you take the backs of the hands to your side body, start with your elbows low, slowly slide your hands up underneath your armpits, but press your hands into your side body, draw your elbows down, so you're creating some resistance again. And yes, this one looks just like chicken wings. That's what I call it. And just breathe there. So wrists are in flexion. You're pushing the backs of the hands into your side body. If you need to be lower, that's okay. Keep breathing into it. Notice your forearms. Release that one. Again, you can shake it out a little bit. Next one, we're going to go into a full movement that is what we call nerve flossing. So we have what's called the brachial plexus, and that's just like a big party of nerves. And for your hands and arms, they happen to be right here in the chest. So we're working from that brachial plexus all the way down through the arms to the tips of the fingers. So you can take the backs of the hands together, lift your elbows up to about the height of the shoulders, and then push the hands together. And you're going to very slowly begin to come forward. And as you come forward, you'll notice the hands are going to have to part, but keep them together as much as you can. Fingers still together until the elbows are fully extended. We're going into that full extension. Then flip your palms around towards me. Spread your fingers, so keep the hands active, and slowly go all the way back as far as you can go. And you'll know you've got it because you'll feel it all the way through the arms, through the hands. Go back a little ways, and then come back in. And when we come back in, you'll get to the point where the arms are straight, and you're going to flip the hands back around so the backs of the hands, fingers first touching. Come back in, slowly take the backs of the hands together, the backs of the wrists, all the way back into the heart. And doing that a few times, you can vary the speed. Just check before you open up, you flip those hands out, spread your fingers. So sometimes I go slow and hold it. Other times I do more like one breath per movement. But you're working with the nerves. You're gently tugging your nerves on one end and then the other. Shoulders are soft. Head and neck relaxed. Last one there. Let that go. Maybe just roll your shoulders because they get a little action on that one. Take them for a spin. So this next one I call love hands. And again, we want to recognize that the fingers bend from the joints. So our L is this bend from the joint, and my thumb's out to the side. So we do L. Feel that, and usually you can just keep your elbows to the sides, but there's your L. And we're going to make an O. You're going to make a fist, wrap your thumb around, and bring your hands down. There's your O. Take a few moments there. Then the V, point your hands down. So I've got like a little V pointing down, reaching my thumb down too. And then we go into the E. And in the E, you're going to pull the wrist back, pull the fingers back, almost like you're clawing, and the thumb comes forward. It's kind of like an E. You could drop a finger in the middle if you want. But there's your E. So we go L. Oop, I did my wrist wrong. Keep the wrist straight there, just the L. L. Got to think about this one too. That's part of it. Then the O. Tight fist, wrist down. V. Wrist still down. And then you're going to pull the wrists up, pull the fingers back, thumbs forward, E. Let's do two more of those. Neutral wrist, L. Thumbs out to the sides. You can go a little faster if that's there for you. O. V. And there's my E. Pulling back. Last one. Start with the L. Go into your O. Feeling this one. V. And there's your E. All right, let that go. Again, just roll your shoulders. Next one is more about waking up the brain. So our brain is wired to connect specifically to certain fingers. And in yoga, we do what's called mudras. But know that your thumb is your smartest finger. So you can take that one for a little lap around because it's a saddle joint. Take that one. So it actually holds more space in your brain. And we'll turn that around in what we call the primary motor cortex. Take it for circles, and some circles. But then we're going to use the thumb, and we're just going to touch the tip of the pinky, the tip of the ring finger, the tip of the middle finger, and the tip of the index finger. And so it may be very easy for you. And if it's really easy, close your eyes, and you can play with the amount of pressure. And just note that you're stimulating your brain in different spaces just by touching. So sometimes I press hard, I press soft. In yoga, we do a little mantra to this, which is sa, ta, na, ma, if you like mantra, which is really just meaning the beginning, the journey itself, the end of the journey, and the coming back, the circle of life. And then if you want a little extra challenge today, and this is all the neuromuscular wiring to the fingers, what I like to do is take the thumb to the ring finger and the index finger first. I usually do this one hand at a time because my brain can't do both, but maybe can. You're right there. And then you're going to switch it and take your middle finger and your pinky finger to the thumb. So I like to rest my hands in my lap, keep the shoulders relaxed, and just switch off. It's middle finger and index finger. Index finger and ring finger, middle finger and pinky finger. And again, I have to watch it definitely the first couple times. But then if you can do it without watching it and feel it. My husband is a professional musician, and he's cracking me up because he's back there doing this with us right now. That's all I'll say about that. And then try the other hand, because I'm right-handed, but for some reason my left hand does a much better job at this. So thumb to the pointer finger and the ring finger, and then switching to the pinky finger and middle finger. Like I said, you can also do both at the same time. I'm just taking those turns. The neuromuscular stimulation. All right. And then just open and close again. Make some circles with the wrists. We're going to be switching. So what I want to finish with is a nice little self-massage. So this is something we do in Thai yoga. We'll start with the left hand. It seems to be getting the nicer treatment first. You can rest your hand in your lap or hold it wherever you want, but you're going to take first your pinky finger and think of your thumb and middle and index finger. You're going to pinch your pinky finger up through the sides. So give it some pinches, especially right around the joints. Just as much pressure as you want. So this is more of a fascial and myofascial and a little massage technique. And then eventually get to the tip of the finger, and you're going to hold the nail. Hold the nail and make some circles with that finger. So now the hand is relaxed. Your opposite hand is doing the work. So passive stretching. Just make some circles and then gently pull that finger. I even let my wrist hang. Pull it a little bit. And imagine you're going to pull off and throw away whatever's stuck in that finger that you don't want. We'll do the next one. So massaging up through the sides of the finger. So I'm on my ring finger. Just the right amount of pressure. Get to the tip, pull on the nail, make a little circle. Go both directions if you want. And then pull anything off and flick it, let it go. Next finger. Giving it a little massage. And I watch to make sure that like my neck is staying relaxed, my jaw, shoulders. Focus on the finger. Now that middle finger, pull it off, send it on its way. No middle fingers today, please. And then the next one. Always good instead of looking to feel it. So we call this interoception, letting your body feel what that finger looks like and letting your brain know where it is in space. Circle it around, pull it off. And now we get to the lovely thumb. Make sure your arm and shoulder feel supported. Massage that thumb all the way down to the base of the joint. Grab the nail. This one likes to do pretty good circles. Snap it off. Just let that left hand relax. Take both hands up, actually. Just take what I call the magic moment. Take even just a few breaths to notice your two hands and see if there's any difference between the left and the right. And then we'll switch and do the other side. So part of the difference is physically, but it's also the nervous system being able to map that hand. So now we're going to the right hand. And you're going to take, I usually take 3 fingers, but you can also just take 2. And squeezing the sides of the pinky finger first, kind of going up and down it. Get to the nail, hold that nail. So you're putting a little pressure on the nail, make some circles. Pull it off, flick it away. Ring finger. Feel the size of it, the joints. So we use our own hands to wake up and stimulate our nervous system. The sense of touch. Grab that nail, make some circles. Hand is relaxed, right shoulder and arm relaxed. Flick any tension off. Middle finger. And you may find one's a little sensitive. Say nice things to it. Be compassionate. Flick it off. Next one. I have to remind myself not to look, not to cheat. Feel it. Even close your eyes. Come to the tip. Give it a gentle pull and a stir. Pull it off. And that right thumb. Massaging. Grab the nail. Take it for a little ride. Go both directions. And pull it off. And just take the palms up. Let your hands open however they want. I'll invite you, even for 1 minute, to close your eyes and notice whatever you can notice, starting with the tips of your fingers. With your eyes closed, can you map out your hands? The joints and the fingers, the palms of the hands, the backs of the hands. Notice where your hands are resting, where they feel support from the ground or from a table or your legs. Is one hand more prominent or available to you than the other? And what can actually help is as you're breathing in and out, last few breaths, breathe in, and as you breathe out, imagine sending, we call this prana, send that energy into the hands and the wrists. And every time you breathe out to the hands and the wrists, see your hands and wrists getting bigger and more relaxed. I even say to myself, my hands are getting bigger and more relaxed every time you breathe out. My hands are growing bigger and more relaxed. Thanks for joining me. It's always nice to take the hands together, match up your fingers. Peace, joy, love and light. And if you are a musician, thank you for making music. It is, of course, the universal language of the world, and I so appreciate it.